Alright, so in this video, I am doing basically a clean and prep. This is an old pair of Adidas The Boost is the name of the model, The Boost. I still have the original box. These are from Y2K, literally, year 2000. I've owned them 25 years. Kind of scary, crazy to think. These had kind of a weird midsole. So the blue foam on the midsole, which is a similar, it's basically Phylon, adiprene and Phylon are nearly identical. It's heat treated polyurethane. It should never dust on anybody, right? But this one is a dual compound. So you see that heel puck that I just put contact cement on. That comes apart from the gray section, and the blue forefoot, which is split right down the middle at the midsole, right next to that torsion vent. It's kind of it's a silver mesh. It's like actually, I think it's actual metal. I think it's aluminum. That goes in the middle. The foam is literally split between the front and the back. So it's two separate parts that they both more or less fuse together with contact cement. The heel puck, which I'm guessing has a dual density, there has to be a reason behind it. So the heel puck is the same navy blue color as the forefoot on those, and I've set that aside and started working on getting this original pair of 1996 made, 97 released Air Humara from the Nike Trail line, one of my all-time favorite shoes. This particular colorway, because it was original, it's called Blue Spark, Carotene, Silver, and Black. It's the colorway. And trickier than I would have expected to get the soles bonded, I think largely just because of working with the textile, but I found out as I continued on that retro pair in Black Royal on the upper left of the screen there is actually harder to deal with than the originals. The toe in particular does not have a grip tape material. It's more like a scored inner tube. Feels a lot like a thick inner tube on the toe cap. Extremely durable build, but they didn't mimic that on any retro, not even the most recent version of this colorway. So at this point, I'm just doing touch-ups and set that aside to cure. Here I'm applying glue, of course, to both sections. That one, you can see the blue heel puck is already on it. Just getting all these little bits and pieces of outsole ready to put back on. I will say, as tedious as it is, as thin as it is to work with such thin pieces of rubber for the outsole, I found it a lot easier to position and get these when I do eventually adhere them to the shoe, to get them lined up in their little pockets and parts, and actually prefer it in some ways to a one-piece outsole. I think that it's funny, it's tedious, when you're having to put little bits of glue on all these little sections and you end up painting all over your hands in some parts. You're getting glue on your hands, I mean. But when you go to actually heat it together and put it together, being able to heat just one little section at a time and laying down each of those quadrants and pieces is actually kind of fun. It is far easier to do than a one-piece outsole, where there's so many alignment concerns. When you start on one end to the other, you're always going to have some alignment issue. Now here I'm putting in the Phylon air puck back in. That has an airbag inside of it, and it's a piece of Phylon, which shocked me for a 2002 retro. Back when they were still using some polyurethane, that they had upgraded it to an all-in-one piece polyurethane insert with the airbag still intact inside of it. It was nice and squishy, so there's no reason to discard it and replace it with EVA foam. So I went ahead and reused that. I was very prepared to replace it with foam, but didn't need to. Letting the cement cure, just switched out to the outsole here, getting lots of glue on there. You'll see some sections kind of absorb it more when I come back to this, I believe. Yeah, because you can see the number on the heel, how it goes kind of laterally across, and see how it kind of dried out there. So I added a little more glue because it looked like it really absorbed it into the rubber, and it just, extra layers is never going to hurt anything, only going to help. So um, now I'm switching over to get this one all slapped back together, heat gun, prep it, and go. One of these ended up more aligned than the other one in the forefoot, and I found out you have to curve, you have to literally shove up the forefoot to get all the little peaks and valleys to kind of lay into the underside of the foam. So one of them got that treatment better than the other, sad to say. But nonetheless, they're all back together. Here's the one with the numbers that were going across that I had just mentioned earlier. So I'm getting that one back together now. Probably better than the first one. So this is the right shoe. So I think the left shoe didn't get put together quite as ideally aligned wise as this one did. Alignment wise, I think this one came out a little cleaner on the right. Yeah, just bit by bit, kind of see how I was shoving it up there. You can see some sections where my hand was kind of pushing up on the forefoot to get all the grooves to line up on the underside. And yeah, just kind of fighting it, putting in little extra bits of glue above the outsole traction lugs. The the real pain about this retro is the grip tapey material at the toe and the overlap of the textile fabric wrap on the midsole really made it tough. Smartless kept me going. Plug to the podcast there. Listen to dozens of their podcasts in the process of doing this and yard work and other things. So back to the boost, getting the sections put on bit by bit. Like I said, this is borderline fun. I mean, it's just far easier to deal with in pieces than it is in a single outsole. At first, it seems really intimidating. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to peel all these individual pieces off and prep them all. And, it's definitely harder to prep, much easier to put back together, in my opinion, than a unipieced outsole. So on to the left shoe here. And I did have to glue the gray section of the adiprene back to the navy section in the center right in front of that torsion plate I mentioned earlier. Heating up that lateral yellow portion. It's funny too, I noticed with how much I'd worn these, I even ran in these a little bit up until they fell apart. I even did, maybe a mile